About 1,000 years ago, in an area now known as the northeastern United States, an indigenous farmer made a brilliant agricultural observation. She noticed that the corn grew tall, taking up a lot of vertical space and stripping the soil. She noticed that the beans climbed everything and fixed nitrogen, which fed the plants around them. And she noted that the squash grew low and wide, shading the soil and keeping weeds away. She and the generations after her kept observing and eventually put these three together, the corn, the beans, and the squash working together, naming them the Three Sisters. When the European settlers arrived, they realized that this was better than anything they'd known, and they adopted the Three Sisters system. Today, it's one of the foundations of something we call permaculture, working with nature instead of against it. And the beans at the center of that story? That's what we're growing today. Hi, I'm Carol from Almost 2 Acres. Let's talk about growing beans in Zone 4.
Let's talk bush versus pole beans because this is a decision to think through before you order seeds. Bush beans are compact, self-supporting plants that stay around 18 to 24 inches tall. They don't need a trellis. You sow them, they grow into a tidy little bush shape, and they produce their entire harvest in a fairly concentrated window, usually 2 to 3 weeks of heavy production. After that, the plant is more or less done. This makes bush beans excellent for small spaces, people who want to succession sow for a continuous harvest, anyone who wants to blanch and freeze a large quantity all at once, and gardeners who prefer low-maintenance crops with no trellis setup. The limitation is that concentrated harvest window. If you plant one big sowing of bush beans and then go on vacation for 2 weeks right when they're producing, you'll miss most of it. Pole beans are vining plants that climb, sometimes 6, 8, even 10 feet high, and they need a trellis, teepee, or some kind of vertical support. They take quite a little longer to start producing than bush beans, but once they start, they keep going. A healthy pole bean plant will produce for 6 to 8 weeks if you keep it picked, which is a much longer window than bush beans. This makes pole beans excellent for gardeners who want a long, steady harvest to eat fresh over many weeks, people with limited ground space who can grow vertically, anyone who finds daily or every other day picking enjoyable rather than a chore, and cottage or permaculture style gardens where the vertical structure adds visual interest. In my Zone 4 garden, I love to grow both. Try planting a short row of bush beans for an early concentrated harvest and a trellis of pole beans for a long steady supply. They complement each other perfectly and you have a full season of harvest. Bush bean varieties. Provider is a favorite of mine. It germinates in cooler soil than most varieties, which is important in Zone 4 where the soil can still be on the cool side in mid-May. It produces tender, round green beans and has good disease resistance. Blue Lake 274 is a classic with excellent flavor and a consistent production. Contender is another cool soil tolerant variety worth knowing. I have grown this one many times and have never been disappointed. For something beyond the standard green bean, Dragon Tongue is a beautiful yellow wax bean with purple streaks. It turns entirely green when cooked. Royal Burgundy is a beautiful purple potted bush bean that also germinates well in cool soils and turns green when cooked. Both are conversation pieces in the garden and delicious. Pole bean varieties. Kentucky Wonder is a classic American pole bean. It's been grown in home gardens for over 150 years, and it's still one of the best for flavor and productivity. Rattlesnake is a gorgeous heirloom with purple streaked pods and excellent heat and drought tolerance. For a different experience, Italian Romano or Carmenat are flat-potted Italian types with a tender, buttery texture that's quite different from a standard round bean. If you want to tie back to that Three Sisters hook, Cherokee Trail of Tears is a historic pole bean with a deeply meaningful story. It was carried by Cherokee people during the forced relocation of 1838 and has been preserved and passed down ever since. It produces beautiful black-seeded dry beans as well as green beans eaten fresh. Growing it is, in a small way, an act of seed stewardship and historical remembrance. Last year, I bought a pole bean packet from M.I. Gardner, planted it, and thought I lost the packet. I could not believe how much I love the flavor of these beans, so saved a jar. I just found the seed packet again a few weeks ago. Turns out I agree with these historic seed savers. Cherokee Trail of Tears is my favorite tasting pole bean, and I'm so thankful that it was saved. I have affiliate links for a selection of these bean seeds linked in the description. You can find trellis ideas also and a few other things. This is the most important timing note for beans in Zone 4. Don't plant beans based on the calendar date alone. Plant based on soil temperature. Beans need soil that is at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit to germinate reliably. Below that, seeds sit in the ground, absorb moisture, and rot before they can germinate. This is one of the most common bean growing failures I know about from Zone 4 gardeners. They plant too early, nothing comes up, and they assume the seeds were bad, then they give up. The seeds are usually fine. The soil was just too cold. In Zone 4, soil temperature typically reaches 60 degrees in mid to late May, usually a week or two after your last frost date. You can check with an inexpensive soil thermometer. Push it a few inches into the soil and read the temperature. If it's not at 60 yet, wait. A week of patience at planting time is worth much more than 2 weeks of watching nothing happen in a cold bed. Here's an easy benchmark. If your tomatoes have been in the ground for a week or two and look happy and settled, it's probably time to sow your beans. Beans are fun to plant with kids because the seeds are large, easy to handle, and germinate quickly in warm soil. No tiny seeds, no sand mixing, no waiting 3 weeks. Soil prep. Beans, like peas, fix their own nitrogen. They do not need a rich, highly amended bed. Average, well-drained soil is ideal. Too much nitrogen produces lots of beautiful leafy plant and very few beans. Work in a light layer of compost if your soil is poor, and that's about all the prep you need. For bush beans, make a furrow about 1 to 1.5 inches deep. Place seeds every 2 to 3 inches in the row. Rows should be about 18 inches apart. Cover, firm the soil down, and water in. In warm soil, you'll see seedlings in 7 to 10 days. You can also plant bush beans in a grid pattern in a raised bed, 4 to 6 inches apart in all directions, which uses space efficiently and creates a dense, lush planting that looks beautiful and shades out weeds. Pole beans, set up your trellis, teepee, or support structure before you plant. This is much easier to do before plants are in the way. Take my advice, I never do it right. Then sow seeds 3 to 4 inches apart at the base of the support, or plant 4 to 6 seeds in a circle around the base of each teepee pole. Pole beans are enthusiastic climbers, and they will find almost any support you give them. Here are some options. The teepee. A teepee is a classic Three Sisters style support. Push 4 to 6 bamboo stakes or wooden poles into the ground in a circle, lean them together at the top, and tie them. It's beautiful, it's functional, and it looks fantastic in a cottage or permaculture garden. Kids love it. A mature bean teepee is dense enough to crawl inside. The A-frame trellis. 2 panels of trellis netting or cattle panel are leaned together at the top in an A shape. Beans climb both sides. You can walk down the middle of the A-frame to harvest from both sides at once. This is very space efficient and reusable year after year. The cattle panel arch. A cattle panel is bent into an arch between 2 raised beds or over a garden path. Pole beans grow over the top and hang down the inside of the arch, making harvesting easy. You walk under the arch and pick from above. It's one of those structures that is both deeply practical and beautiful in the garden. Single vertical trellis. Posts are placed at each end of the row with sturdy string, wire, or netting strung between them. This is simple and effective, as well as easy to put up and take down. Bush beans really benefit from succession sowing because of that concentrated harvest window. Here's the approach. Sow your first round of bush beans in mid-May when the soil hits 60 degrees. About 2 to 3 weeks later, sow a second round in a different section of the bed. 2 to 3 weeks after that, sow a third round. You can keep going through mid-July in Zone 4. The result is that as your first planting finishes up, your second is hitting its peak. and your third is just coming in. You get fresh beans from late June through August without a glut followed by a long gap. I don't do this with pole beans because of their long natural production window, but you can still sow a second planting 3 to 4 weeks after the first for extra insurance. The rule for harvesting beans is simple: pick early and pick often. Beans are best when the pods are tender and the seeds inside are still small and undeveloped. If you can feel the distinct bumps of swelling seeds through the pod, you've waited a bit long. The pod will be tougher and less sweet. Try to pick when pods are slender, crisp, and snap cleanly. The snapping sound is actually a good test. A bean that snaps crisply is ready. A bean that bends without breaking is overripe. Like peas, regular picking signals the plant to keep producing. A pole bean plant that is picked every day or two will keep flowering and setting pods for weeks. A plant with overripe pods left on the vine starts to wind down production because it senses that it has successfully set seed, which is its biological goal. Check plants every 1 to 2 days once production starts. A bean that's perfect today will be overripe in 2 days in warm summer weather. If you end up with beans that have gone too far, let them dry fully on the vine and shell them as dry beans for winter soups. Many bean varieties, including Cherokee Trail of Tears, Rattlesnake, and Dragon Tongue, make excellent dry beans. Waste nothing. Fresh beans keep in the refrigerator for about a week. Beyond that, your best options are blanching and freezing. Blanch beans in boiling water for 3 minutes, plunge them into ice water to stop cooking, drain, and freeze in a single layer on a sheet pan before transferring to freezer bags. Frozen beans keep well for up to a year and are far better than anything from a can. Pickling. Green beans make excellent dilly beans, pickled in a vinegar brine with garlic and dill. They're easy and fun to make, beautiful in a jar, and delicious as a snack or alongside a meal. Drying. Let beans mature and dry fully on the vine, shell them, and store the dry beans in an airtight container. They'll keep for years and cook up beautifully in soups and stews all winter. The Three Sisters planting system that opened this video wasn't just a gardening technique. It was accumulated knowledge passed from generation to generation about how to feed a community sustainably from the land. When you save a few bean seeds at the end of the season and tuck them into an envelope for next year, you're participating in that same tradition. It's a small act with a long history behind it.
Next up in my series of Zone 4 gardening, I'm tackling tomatoes, a crop that everybody wants to grow, but one that can be just a little bit difficult in Zone 4. Please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't, and answer one comment: bush beans or pole beans? That's it. See you next time. Let's get growing.